Kiev has demanded Moscow provide details of its military exercises within 48 hours. Now, earlier, I spoke with Oleh Kotsyuba, online editor for Ukrainian journal Krytyka'on. I started by asking what happens if the deadline passes with no explanation.
I believe Ukraine will definitely wait for an explanation, and that deadline was issued within the OSCE regulations. According to those regulations, Russia simply has to comply with them. If that does not happen, that means yet another dismantling of the global system of security. I think Ukraine will certainly proceed with this the so-called anti-terror operation in the east, trying to free the cities of Slavyansk, Kramatorsk, and other cities from the terrorists and the separatists.
UN chief has warned the situation could spin out of control. In your opinion, has it already reached that point? Isn't this thing already out of control?
I think the situation is very dangerous right now, and it is really crucial that the West and the Western partners intervene. However, there are still possibilities to contain the situation.
What does Ukraine want from the international community?
I think there is a number of things that the international community could do. First of all, it should introduce severe and serious sanctions against Russia and Russian economy. That should signal to Putin that his steps are indeed untenable. Number two is, of course, more than just a moral support. Ukraine has requested from the West, in particular from the United States, military help in form of equipment, training, and so on. That help should and can be provided to Ukraine.
You mentioned sanctions, and the U.S. has already imposed sanctions, and it really didn't seem to make a whole lot of difference, at least not as far as Russia is concerned. It's still going on with its campaign. So what is the best approach if at the end of the day, sanctions are not working?
The question is, of course, what kind of sanctions have been introduced? We see that this round of sanctions has been very limited. Only a few people are on the list. We have visa bans, we have freezes of assets of just a few people. People who are closer to Putin are still not involved, not included in that list. Key sectors of the Russian economy are not included in those sanctions. And what I mean is primarily gas and oil industry.
Where do you see this conflict down the road in 3 months from now?
So there is hope that despite all the threatening and all the destabilization in the East, there will be free and open elections, the snap elections for the presidential office. And as soon as there is a legitimate president in place, I think this situation will become much more stable, much more controllable.
Again, that was Oleh Kotsyuba, an online editor for Ukrainian journal.